Okay, what if I told you that the entire story of France is just a 2,000-year-long sequel to the Roman Empire? It sounds kind of wild, right? But that's the exact idea we're digging into today. How the history of France seems to be this constant, chaotic echo of its ancient parent. And really, this quote just nails it. France. Basically Rome's most successful and most chaotic stepchild. This suggests that France isn't just another country in Europe. No, it's the inheritor of this magnificent and, yeah, incredibly messy Roman legacy. But that's a fair question, right? I mean, we're talking about France. It's got its own powerful identity, its own language, its own culture. So how on earth can its DNA be traced back to an empire that crumbled over 1,500 years ago? Well, here's the answer. Because from its founding myths to its greatest triumphs, and even its most epic failures, France just seems to be playing out a Roman script over and over again. It's an echo that has somehow lasted for 2 millennia. Okay, so let's get into it. We have to go back to the very beginning, before France was even France, to a place the Romans called Gaul. Now, this relationship, it starts with a bang. I mean, literally. Way back in 390 BC, the Gauls sack the city of Rome. And this humiliation, it basically sparks Rome's villain origin story. It turns it into what you might call an ultra-militaristic state. So you fast forward a few centuries, and who comes knocking? Julius Caesar. He returns the favor, marching his legions all through Gaul and just systematically dismantling their entire way of life. Talk about holding a grudge. And after Caesar is done, Gaul is completely transformed. It becomes Rome 2.0. We're talking paved roads, aqueducts, Roman laws, Roman culture, the whole shebang. For 500 years, this land isn't French, it's a certified Roman territory. And this right here, this is where that first echo really begins. So what happens when the Western Roman Empire finally falls apart? Well, the blueprint is still there, and new leaders crawl out of the chaos, all trying to put the pieces back together, all trying to rebuild that empire. And this brings us to Clovis, the leader of a Germanic tribe called the Franks. You know, it's funny, just like the mythical Romulus founded Rome in a camp full of outcasts, Clovis carves a new kingdom out of the wreckage of post-Roman Gaul. He's the new founder in a land of ruins. Now, our source material uses this fantastic phrase to describe what Clovis does next, a pro-gamer move. Just so we're all on the same page, think of it like a brilliant strategic play in a video game that completely changes the rules and gives you a massive advantage. So what was this genius move? He converted to Catholicism. By aligning himself with the single most powerful and organized institution left standing, the church, Clovis totally legitimizes his rule. Suddenly, he's not just some warlord anymore, he is the rightful Christian heir to Rome's legacy. It's a move that gives his dynasty a divine stamp of approval. Now with Charlemagne, this echo isn't accidental, it's intentional. Fast forward to the year 800. He's not just following a pattern, he is actively trying to reboot the Roman Empire. When the Pope crowns him Emperor of the Romans, he's trying to be the new Augustus, building a permanent, stable empire to replace the one that was lost. Okay, let's keep going, because as France starts to really come together as a kingdom, the echoes of Rome get even louder. You can see it in their rivalries, their royalty, and eventually in their revolution. So, first up, rivalry. And we're talking about the big one, the 100 Years' War with England. And no, that number on the screen isn't a typo. This thing went on for generations. It defined both countries for over a century. And here's where the pattern is just undeniable. The source frames this whole epic war as a sibling rivalry. It's a direct echo of Rome's own founding myth, that deadly fight between the brothers Romulus and Remus. You've got two peoples, both born from the same Roman heritage, fighting to the death over who gets the crown. From rivalry to royalty, let's talk about Louis XIV, the Sun King. This guy was the absolute peak of French royal power. He was basically an emperor in everything but name. He built Versailles, he centralized all power in himself. He was this perfect mix of Roman emperor types, totally obsessed with his public image like Nero, but also a surprisingly good administrator like Claudius. But you know what they say about absolute power? It corrupts. And just like in Rome, this leads to a complete and total collapse. The French Revolution follows the Roman playbook almost step for step. You've got corrupt rulers, people who are starving and furious, a violent overthrow of the old system, and then a chaotic republic born from the ashes. And this quote right here, it captures the incredible irony of it all. It applies just as much to the senators who murdered Caesar as it does to the revolutionaries who executed their king. In both cases, they tried to save the Republic by doing the one thing guaranteed to completely destroy it. And out of all that revolutionary chaos, a new figure emerges. And he isn't just an echo of Rome. He is a conscious, deliberate reboot of its most famous character. I mean, this is probably the most jaw-dropping parallel in this whole story. Napoleon Bonaparte as a modern-day Julius Caesar. Think about it. Both were these brilliant, cunning, ambitious generals who used their military victories to grab political power. Both rose up from the chaos of a failed republic, and both ended up destroying that very republic to crown themselves emperor. And the way they did it, it was identical. I love how the source puts this, that he was collecting powers like they were Pokemon cards. Napoleon just vacuumed up every office he could get his hands on, consul, first consul, consul for life, until all the power was his. He just kept grabbing titles until the only one left to take was emperor. And get this, even their biggest failures are mirror images of each other. Napoleon's ego gets the best of him, he invades Russia, and his unbeatable army gets completely annihilated by the winter. It's a chilling echo of those 3 Roman legions under Varus, who were tricked into Germany's Teutoburg forest and just wiped out. A shocking defeat that came from the exact same overconfidence. So does the pattern finally end with Napoleon? Nope, not at all. The argument is that this Roman echo just keeps on going, shaping France's identity right up into the modern day. You can see the pattern playing out even now. France's colonial period, driven by a very Roman-style addiction to expansion. Its political instability, it's led to 5 different republics. That's 5 government reboots. There's still this deep obsession with its national image, with its culture. And there's still this lingering feeling that France, just like Rome, is the rightful cultural center of the world. Which leaves us with one last really big question to chew on. Is all of this just a massive historical coincidence? Or, after 2,000 years of echoes and rivalries and reboots, is France still, in some fundamental way, trying to finish the story that Rome began?